Hi everyone, I'd like to share with you how I make this kind of journal, and by saying this kind I will explain in a minute. I've seen many videos with this kind of journal, and each one is calling it differently because it can be very versatile. You can use it for many uses. Some are calling it junk journal because they are putting all their junk, all the scraps in it. Some are doing all kinds of notebooks in it and calling it the traveler's notebook. But I've seen Ina Salisbury making a video, and she's calling it Infinity Journal. I think I will call mine the same because it really is so versatile. I'm I'm trying to get more organized with all my painted papers, and I've made this one for all those painted papers that I couldn't find and didn't remember what I have, and I've tucked them here. But basically you can tuck here in the elastic bands whatever you want. If you can put three notebooks in here and call it a traveler's notebook, so like this. So basically you can tuck in whatever you want, and the only thing that I did try to take notice is that the size of it will be enough for an A4, because which is like printer paper. It's the most used size, so I was sure to make sure that it was enough for an A4. And of course, if you want to do something bigger, just find it's made of a hardcover from a book, and if you need something that is bigger, just pick a book that is bigger. Now here I've just so I will show you in a minute the whole process, but because I'm not doing the same kind of thing on top of the cover, I'll just tell you what I've done here. Here it was gesso and some kind of like some confetti, synthetic confetti that I've mixed with glue just to make some texture, and then some pieces that I had from chipboard and covered everything. I've colored with acrylic paints, and then the accent is with gold paint. So that's what I've done. And here we go, I've got another book. This is an old encyclopedia. Someone threw it out, and I'm going to take the cover and make an infinity journal. So the first thing you need to do when you pick a book is, first you need a hardcover, and you need to make sure that you have space between the pages here where the signatures are and the spine. Make sure that it's not glued. The new books are even not, they look like signatures, but they are not. It's all glued down, and it's also glued to the back, to the spine, and you need to have space between the pages and the spine. Take an X-Acto knife or a box cutter, and very gently you need to separate all the pages here from the spine, and just go easy. And sometimes there is some kind of mesh that is all in the back that you need to cut through, and as you can see, I am moving gently and putting a little bit of pressure to help me separate between. And You need to have a lot of patience for this. To me, it seems like the old books are constructed better than what we have today. Now, this is a really old encyclopedia. It was old when I was. It's for. Um, it was aimed towards teenagers, this encyclopedia, and I think that even when I was a teenager, this was already old. So, not much use for this kind of thing, but there is all kinds of pictures and engravings inside that I'm always using. So, win-win. I get to keep all the pages and I get to use the hardcover. So it's really hard. Yay! And now for the other side. And when you're struggling with it, it's better to lean towards with the knife towards the pages, because if they tear, it's better than the hardcover that you want to use. Here we go. Keeping the pages, and here is my hardcover. First off, I'm going to gesso this whole thing because I don't want this red picking up. I'm going to gesso it, and when it will be dry, I'll come back. I'm back. So I've got gesso on my cover, but that was just because I didn't want the red showing through, and I want to do the cover with fabric this time. And I've picked up, I've got this synthetic fabric with like a bandana print, and it's going to be a really easy, it's like wrapping a gift. And I'm putting a white glue all over my cover, and if you can see, there is a little hole here where I wasn't really careful when I've cut the hardcover from the paper, but I don't care because everything is going to get, as I said, covered inside and outside. Right now this is the outside of my cover, and I'm going to put this this fabric. So leave enough so you can you can fold it inside, and start in one side and just smooth it. And this is a very flimsy fabric, so the glue is going through it, but it's good for me. Then it will be even better attached to my cover. And I'm just smoothing it out, and I'm going to fold it also to make sure that it has enough give here when you fold it. And smoothing all the wrinkles, and you don't want here wrinkles. Maybe you do, I don't know. It can be fun even to do wrinkles as texture, but this time I just want it smooth. And I'm going to put something non-sticky underneath before I'm going to flip it over. Let's see. This is like parchment paper, but it's like a cookie sheet for the oven, and it's non-sticky, so good for me. And flipped it over. Now I'm just going to trim. I'm leaving enough so I can fold it inside, but I don't need all of it. So again, going to put glue first on the corners. I'm always doing the corners first, and I'm taking them like this, folding them inside. And I don't care how it looks, everything will get covered. It won't, no one will see all this. So now that I've got the corners, I'm making sure I have enough glue in the corners. I hope I'm in frame. And now I'm going to fold this section here. And if you are not sure, it will, if you have a thicker fabric, just take a bulldog clip or an office clip or whatever you have, just to hold it in place. Okay. Now I'm doing the other side. Smoothing it. If you don't want to use your fingers, just take a plastic card and move over it. Again, taking some clips just to make sure it will stay in place until it's dry. And now this and this side. Smoothing it. I'm moving the clip to hold the corner. And now this. Making sure it's flat and in place. Basically, you can do it with whatever you want. You can use paper, you can use textile, you can use leftover paper napkins, paper towels, whatever you want to decorate your journal cover. Now this is just going to need to dry, and I like to just put it like this. I know there is a give for the folding, and I know it will get ventilation to dry quicker. So I'll be back once it's dry. I'm back. So this is dry, and I want to add interest to this background, which is only the first layer. And I know I'm going to only use it for organizing, but I thought it would be nice to give you another option on how to make a cover or even another journal page, because this can be done in another journal page. I've taken two of my homemade sprays. They are from Gel Food Coloring. I've got here fuchsia and turquoise, and I just want to add a little to my cover, and so I will have more color. And I want another color. Let's see. And this is supposed to be magenta. Yeah, that's what I'm aiming for. And a little bit more of the turquoise. And now this again needs to dry before I'm continuing, and I'm planning on stenciling on top of it. I'm going to look for some paisley stencil I have, so it will be a little bit like what I've got on the bandana here. So I'll be back. I'm back. So I decided against the paisley. I'm going with this stencil as a start. I've taken permanent black marker, and I'm just going to start tracing it here on my cover, and as much as I can here with the fold. For now I'm just marking the outside. And in a minute I'll start coloring on the inside. It would be easier when I don't need to hold the stencil down so it won't move. Yeah, I think I traced everything. Yeah. So now I'm just going in and coloring on the inside, and that's about it for this stage. And so I'm going to color this, and then I'm going to play with this too, with the stencil, and add it in several places on my cover. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to trace the outside shape, then color on the inside, and then we'll continue to the next stage, which I'm thinking some kind of highlights to these shapes. Here we go, like this. So I'm going to continue with this stage, and I'll be back. I'm back. So as you can see, I've continued and played with parts of my stencil all over my cover, and now I'm going to use, I've got here bronze acrylic paint inside this bottle, and I'm just going to give all these elements some highlight, just for the fun of it. I don't know, I don't have to, but I want to bring it out, and I'm just going over few lines and adding. It doesn't have to be precise. As I said, it's just to give a little bit of highlights. Here we go. I can also, if I want, add other elements if I think it needs to. I'm just playing around until I reach something that I'll be satisfied with. It doesn't have to be anything precise, as I already said. Just watch out that you don't go over whatever you have done already, and and your hand will be on it. Yeah. And now just some swirly stuff to add to the whole thing. Don't know why. Okay, so this needs to dry, and then I'm going to show you how to put the elastic band so you can make it into the journal we've talked about. But for the cover, decorating the cover, this is it. And of course you can decorate your cover however you want. I'll be back. I'm back. So everything is dry. My highlights, I hope you can see them with the bronze that I've put on the cover. And now it's time for the other side. The one that I've showed you here, I've used some fabric to put on the inside, and this time for this one I'm going to use a piece of wallpaper sample. It doesn't matter, use whatever you have, if it's fabric, if it's paper, whatever you want to put here. Now before you're doing this side, you need to figure out if you want some closure for this or not, and what kind of closure. Why am I mentioning it now? Because if you want a closure that with a tucked in ribbon, then you need to glue down the ribbon first and then seal everything. If you forgot, you can still attach a ribbon here, and to conceal this end of the ribbon you can always put any kind of button or charm that will hide and make it beautiful. So this is one of the things. Now I'm not going to do any closure, it's just going to be like this. I'm going to put my jelly prints in it, and now to attach this, it's better to start with the spine. Place it and start with the spine. I'm going to use silicone glue just because it's faster than and stronger than the white glue. And silicone, this is local brand, And if you want silicone glue, look for Yoo-hoo. So I'm starting with the spine. Here we go. You want it to be tucked in, and so it won't move. And I'm trying to tuck it in and see that everything is in place. I'm going to put 2 paper clips to hold it in place, because I don't want to wait for it now to dry. And to ensure this is not going to, and I've moved it. Here we go. I think this is now okay. And now I'm just going to put down more glue. I think you can also use a glue gun. Just make sure it's not bulky, and do each time a small section. Yeah. So this is how it should look. And I'm trying still to move it a little bit. It doesn't really matter, but, and I'll trim. I've got a little bit of excess, and I'll trim it when it's dry. And next, now we are going to talk about the elastics that will hold the pages. Now, I don't have the big thing that makes holes in this kind of thick material, so I don't use it. I don't have it. But I found that I can make the same thing without the holes. I'm just taking an elastic band. I've got this gold. This is a round elastic, and diameter is like 1 millimeter. And I've got the white. You don't have to use a round elastic. You can use flat one, and all the same. Maybe I'll use the blue one here. Where is the beginning of this stuff? Okay, so you warp it around your cover, and you warp it as many times as you want it to hold pages. Here I have got 2. I can do another one, so I will have 3 like I have in the other one, like so. And of course you need to have enough space between the 3. Right now I'm just warping it and putting just a little bit of tension. And it's also advisable, if it's a flat elastic band, to straighten it, which I didn't do it. I'm kind of distracted. Let's see. I'm holding this one, and now I'm doing it again, only straight. Okay, just a little bit of tension. You don't want it too loose. And here we go. Now decide if you want your knot to be on the outside or in the inside. I do it on the outside, but I do it here because after I'm doing a knot, I like to put beads on the leftover excess of the elastic. So it's up to you if you want it hidden in a bit inside where you are going to tuck your pages, or on the outside. I also go under and just to hold everything together. I don't know why, it seems to me like something good to do. And I'm doing a knot so everything will stay in place. And now I can put beads like pony beads, anything that has a large enough hole to put here. And I will leave it be for now, and you can still move your elastics so it would be easier to work with. I will remove the paper clips later when I'm sure everything is in dry and in place. So basically this is how you do this infinity journal. And of course you can still work it and add whatever you want to add to it in terms of decorating it. For me this is it, and only the beads that will come later. I haven't decided which one I'm going to decorate it with. So this is it. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope it gave you some ideas, and thank you for watching. Thank you for leaving me comments below, and I'll be seeing you in my next video. Bye for now.